Hey, good morning guys. It is a beautiful day here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So this video is going to be completely about what to do when you are just tired of sitting in the house and you just need to get outside and go do something else. We are going around the city and I'm going to show you my favorite places to go to get outside, and especially right now there's this whole idea of staying inside, quarantining, but yet you're still allowed to go outside and do this whole social distancing thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you ways that you can get outside, stop being cooped up in your house, and you can still stay safe, you can practice social distancing, and you can go have a great time. So we're gonna start off right here. This is my favorite neighborhood to walk around. This is actually in a local area, and this is very specific to Albuquerque, New Mexico. So essentially, if you live here in the Albuquerque area, you can take these tips and you can go see these places and see if you wanna do this stuff. So for now, this is the neighborhood. It's by Louisiana and San Antonio, and I just like to walk around this, and this is not necessarily a morning routine, but I do this now about a couple times a week where I'll strap up the baby and we'll just go for a walk around this neighborhood and have a great time. So I'm just excited to bring you guys along and show you exactly what this neighborhood has to offer. Just lots of beautiful scenery. So off in the distance we have the Sandia Mountains, and here in Albuquerque the Sandia Mountains face the east of the city. So every single morning if you wake up at the right time, the sun will hit it just right and the mountains will turn from this purple color to this beautiful pinkish red color. And for those of you who don't know, Sandia is actually Spanish for watermelon, and it's named the Sandia Mountains because that's when the sunlight hits it. When the sunlight hits it, it's that reddish pink color, just like the inside of a watermelon. And it's just part of the beautiful natural scenery that Albuquerque has to offer. So let's keep walking towards it.
What's your favorite part about the mountains?
I like how the mountains basically have sort of a complete diversity, because here in Albuquerque it's mainly just desert, dirt, and weeds, but it's still pretty to look at. And once you go up to the mountains, it's still dirt and weeds, but as you climb the elevation it turns into a complete forest, and that's where a lot of the deer and the bears are, and so you get to see a little bit more wildlife. And also on top of that, we have a tram that takes us up to the peak of the mountain, and you get this amazing view of Albuquerque. You can see the entire city because you're just completely above it.
After finishing an incredible walk, we decided to drive to Embudo Park, which is part of the Sandia foothills. This sits at the base of the Sandia Mountains. Now you guys can understand its beauty.
Alright guys, welcome to the next place. So this is Embudo Park. For those of you who live in Albuquerque, just take Manal all the way up past Tramway and you will eventually hit this. This is my second favorite place to go here in Albuquerque. As you can see, we're here at the Sandia Mountains. We saw that in the neighborhood earlier, and it's basically just a desert landscape, but there are hiking trails everywhere for us to go and walk around. There's cool rock formations to see, and they even have little picnic areas, so we're gonna go ahead and explore that, and let's go. So every single time that I come to the Sandia Mountains and I walk around Embudo Park, I really do look for rock formations, and they're everywhere. So this is the very first start. It's not much, but as we get closer to the base of the mountain, there's just more stuff to climb, and it's pretty fun. So I've been doing this since I was 16 and 24 now, and still loving it. So Albuquerque is actually sort of a very athletic city because we have a lot of outdoors activities. There's so much to do. There's running in the Bosque up here, there's hiking, we got streams that you can go fishing, we got lakes. So really there's tons of stuff to get yourself outside. Here's the cameraman today. This is my good friend Thomas. We've been friends since we were 15, ever back in, actually no, even longer than that, back in middle school.
Yeah, Madison.
Yeah, so going on 10 years. And he's helping me out being the cameraman today, but I figured I'd introduce him to the YouTube channel and also make sure that we drop his Instagram. I'm at Desert Velociraptor. He has dope photos of landscapes.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Thomas. He already went over that, but you know, we're here.
And what do you think?
What do I think of what? Your YouTube channel? You're killing it.
Thank you.
The landscape out here?
Yeah.
I mean, I love this place, so think it's fantastic. A lot of people don't seem to, like, a lot of people our age don't seem to like New Mexico, but I love it. It's one of those places that just like, it captured my heart from a young age.
Yeah.
Even though who knows where I'll be living in like a year or two.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the thing, exactly what he said about New Mexico. So we kind of get pooped on quite a bit because we have a lot of crime out here and the education system isn't all that good. Now, granted, that is true, but you have two options. You could either look at the negative or you could look at the positive. So if you focus on the negative, your outlook on everything is going to be poor. But if you focus on the positive and see what we do have, such as good nature, good people for the most part, then, and good food, then this place becomes great. I've been coming here for years. I've been hiking this since I was 15 or 16, and I just discovered something new. It's not really a cave, but it's a rock formation where everything's stacked on top of each other, and you could go in and kind of like have like a little fort. So come on in. Like seriously, I've never seen this before. I think this is dope. This is where all the hobos sleep.
Jeez.
When the coronavirus hits, this is where I'm gonna make my fort. This is where I'm gonna survive the coronavirus, you know, outbreak, the zombie apocalypse, until this rock formation falls and crushes me. I came up this area just to sit on a rock for just a good shot, and yeah, I noticed this, and it's insane. I've been coming here for years, and I never noticed it. It's the great part about nature and Albuquerque. You can come here multiple times and find something new every single day. And again, been coming here for 10 years, and this is the first time I'm seeing this, so pretty cool, guys. So after this, we're gonna move on to my third favorite place, and that's the Bosque. Alright guys, so we made it to my third favorite place. This is the Bosque. So over off in that distance, you're gonna see a bunch of trees. For those of you who live in Albuquerque, you guys know what the Bosque is, but this message is for all my subscribers who don't live in Albuquerque. So Albuquerque is separated into two sections. You have the east side and the west side, and there's the Rio Grande. That's the river that runs right between the middle of it. And right along the river, you have all these trees that just grow right along that side because that's basically the only water source in this area. So during the summer, not until the springtime, it just creates this huge canopy of just this shadowy, woody area that you can walk through along the river. But also right here at Corzo Montanium, we have a lot of local artwork. They took some tree stumps over here, and men with chainsaws, they actually carved this just with chainsaws. And then they painted over this with different colors. So you can see lots of incredible characters. My favorite one is the bald eagle, representing America. And then you have other interesting things. There's squirrels over there, you got woodchucks off in the distance. But it's just kind of cool because you get to come over here, you get to look at some awesome artwork, go for a walk, and if it wasn't for this whole coronavirus thing, after the walk, we go get some bubble tea because there's a bubble tea shop like literally right there. So that's why this is one of my favorite places to just come and chill and hang out and walk, but oh well. So no bubble tea, but we're still gonna go for a walk, and there's tons of people out here walking, having a good time, and they're actually doing the whole social distancing thing, staying a good 5 feet apart from each other and not walking more than groups of 5, so doing good. Even though this coronavirus is being a huge pandemic and it's a huge issue right now, you can still get outside and you can enjoy time. I mean, I just think that you gotta make sure that you keep your distance from other people because you never know if they could be infectious, but for the most part, you don't have to be cooped up. You can still have fun. Like I said earlier, the Rio Grande cuts right through the middle of Albuquerque, but Albuquerque used to and still does have a lot of farming, especially in the Los Ranchos area, which isn't too far from here. So this is actually a ditch from the Rio Grande, and there is still some fish in here. They actually make their way from the river, and you can kind of catch them stuck in here every now and again. Sometimes I see people fishing, but everywhere you go around this area, there's just little ditches and stuff just for people to irrigate their crops back in the olden days. So one thing that I like about the Bosque is it's super quiet once you get to my favorite spot, which is when you hit the river. But until that point, you're walking this trail, which is right along of the major bridge that goes across the river. This is the Montano Bridge. It's by Corso Montano. This is where this whole location's at. So when you're walking along, most of the time you hear lots of cars off in the distance. That's a very well-traveled road. But now with the whole COVID-19 thing, there's not that many cars on the road, so it's fairly quiet and you can actually enjoy a more peaceful walk. And then once you get to the river, it ends up becoming way more peaceful and you can walk more that way and it gets super, super quiet because there's nothing over there. And also it just becomes this nice shadowy walk in the summer because everything's just canopied with leaves. But it's still springtime right now, so everything's still kind of dead from winter. It's starting to come back to life, but when everything's just completely green and blooming, I'll bring you guys back here because as you can see, everything's kind of brown and dead, but just wait till the midst of summer. Everything's just green and lush and it's amazing, and I can't wait to bring you guys back here during summer. So we are actually at the Rio Grande now. This is it, guys. So right now, this is pretty much as big as the river gets. I'll let Thomas kind of get a good shot out here. But it's been raining the last couple of days, so the Rio Grande currently is actually incredibly full. Usually it's, what, maybe a quarter of this size?
Yeah.
Oh, and here's the dog. Hi.
Oh.
Hi, dog. He's going back to his owner, it's all good. But anyways, yeah, so the Rio Grande's really quite full. And so you'll see some people kayaking through here every now and again, but most of the time people don't kayak it because it's not all that full. So the joke here is we call it the Rio Poquito because Rio Grande means large river in Spanish. But if you call it Rio Poquito, it's little river because that's really what it is. Most of the time it's an over-glorified stream, but it's still awesome. It makes this city beautiful. So many people do not come to New Mexico. I've only showcased you what we have here in Albuquerque, and yet we are the 5th largest state by landmass. There is so much to be seen here. We have Carlsbad Caverns, which is a national monument. We got White Sands Missile Range, which is actually where they tested the first nuclear bomb, and it's a great place to go sand boarding. We got Taos, which has some amazing scenery and these really cool earth ships. There's just so much to see here, and so New Mexico is really under-glorified. It never really hits the news media at all, and that's one of the other goals of this channel is I kind of want to get New Mexico exposed more to people and kind of get more people to come visit this place because I don't know, I feel it's kind of unfair that only us really get to witness it because we're really the only ones who know about it. So I know I said earlier, this place was closed, they had no bubble tea, but as we were walking back to the car on the trail, we saw people walking with bubble tea. I'm like, oh, it's open? And like, yeah, it's open. So we came, rushed over here, got some bubble tea, and now we're heading back because I gotta go to work. So I'll catch you guys later.